Hello, 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 beloveds. Kirstin Hanson again, back with our Morning of the Dove. This week we are talking about the light and really going deeper into my near-death experience where I was fully immersed in this light, in this holy presence, this loving presence, this divine presence that grabbed the whole of me. And our topic today is going to be on the quietness, the need for quietness. So, welcome. Welcome. This is our daily consecration, returning us to the eternal love of divine presence, an opportunity to lean in through devotion by embracing the sacred pause, the life-giving breath inside of us, and a returning to the presence that is always here within you. So before we begin, as I have asked the last few days, take a breath. Find your natural breath. The one that breathes in, the one that breathes out, that provides you sustenance of life, and place your hand on your heart. Place your hand on your heart. And in our heart is where the light really begins to emanate. It's through the heart that we can really move the energy because it's connecting to the cosmic heartbeat of all that is. So allow this light to connect in and feel this love, this unconditional love that is beyond human comprehension, the ineffable, the blissfulness, the joyfulness, the peace. When you are connected to this place, when you are aware and embodying this place that moves into your heart, this light, and I call it the light because I don't know what else to call it. This light, it moves through your whole body. And it is this energy, it is this movement, it is this vibration that begins to bring peacefulness, quietness, calmness, stillness. It begins to bring the highest vibration possible into your body. And this is where eradication of disease, eradication of anxiety, eradication of upset, you begin to feel as if there is nothing in the world that can harm you. You feel outer worldly here. It's only when we drop in vibration that we come back into that anxiety, and it's very disorienting. Anybody who takes my classes and sits in the light with me, because that's what I teach now, is how to hold that place. Because this is where the great healing occurs, is within yourself. Who takes my class, I tell them you're going to have a drop. You're going to drop. And when you drop, it literally kicks in an anxiety like you can't breathe. So our work is to stay in a devotional practice that keeps us in this holy state. This is it. This is the state of pure consciousness. This is the state of pure consciousness. Now I'm going to drop a couple of concepts that will lead us up to some other places that I will be speaking to this week. And these are all things that I learned post near-death experiences. And a lot of them I got like almost in a flash instant when I died in that accident. However, there also have been deepenings for me over the last 4 years as I've had to make sense of it because nothing made sense to me when I walked out. I literally walk through the world now as if I live in heaven. And I'm watching a world unfold, which is literally hell on earth. And yet heaven is among us because those that are awakening are creating the heaven on earth. And as I sit here, what's really important to talk about today is the quietness and the stillness and the peacefulness. Jesus spoke of this often. And as many scholars have proven, although many would deny this, but many scholars have proven the likelihood of him training and developing in other regions and other studies is pretty high. And in non-dual teachings, a human is a spiritual being. We are spiritual. And when I say spiritual, I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about unexplainable phenomena that a mystic studies. See, Jesus was a mystic, as was Mary Magdalene. But the teaching is that we must move ourselves into a peaceful state so we can hear the vibration of the universe, which many call the Om signal. So we become in harmony. Our frequency, our vibration is in harmony with the universal harmony, universal presence, universal presence. And in this harmony, in this quietness, everything that our humanness has constructed begins to fall away. So as we evolve, quietness, devotion, reverence becomes more and more important. Solitude, understanding how to live with ourself. Because within ourself is where the holy union occurs. Merging our masculine and feminine aspects into the oneness, the interconnected wholeness of all that is. And in this is what is called the divine union, the holy union, the sacred union, where we merge into the oneness with the divine, with God, with the universe. And we have that moment of ecstasy, of rapture, of bliss, where we become one with the divine. And it is within these teachings, it is within these teachings, it is within this quietness that we begin to change our DNA. We begin to change the construction of who we are, and we deconstruct everything that the human ego wants us to hold on to. And this is how we become outer worldly. And many people are going to argue that this is spiritual bypass, moving into unconditional love, moving into love. But by being this frequency, it is not denying that the other things aren't occurring. It is being courageous enough to hold the truth of the holy. And I am here to tell you, if you are harming, in particular harming intentionally, you are not sitting in God's vibration. That is a universal law. That is a universal truth. Our job is to disarm, to dismantle everything that has a need to harm. Even my desire to fight against it is living in the frequency of it. That is Einstein. Can't fight the problem with the level of the problem. So my job is to seek, this is eagle, this is great eagle. Anyone who knows any of the indigenous teachings, great eagle flies so high that nothing can touch it. But it also has the greatest of perspective. So I'm going to introduce a concept by being in this quietness, being in this peacefulness. We then have the doors to divinity open within us. And when those open, we are given spiritual truths, spiritual axioms, that their vibration alone begins to change the entire fabric of who we are. There's nothing we have to do. It's going to happen to us. Like truly, it happens on its own. Trust me, I have been dealing with this for the last 4 years. But in this divine unfolding, this divine unfurling, there's a concept of divine neutrality. Because see, the universe is neutral. Its frequency to a human is that of unconditional love. It brings people to their knees. I can always tell somebody who's had a near-death experience for the way they describe it. And I can tell those who haven't. And it's not one's better than the other. It's just like, somebody who's had an experience or not. So in our next conversation, we are going to talk about divine neutrality. But for today, my prayer for you, my sacred morning, my sacred quietness, is that you come into the moment where you feel that peacefulness. Because I promise you, once you feel it, you will chase that like heroin. Because there is nothing like it. Because that is where the wholeness energy comes in. That is wholeness medicine. That is quantum medicine. It is in that peaceful state, because in that, the revelation of all of the divine qualities are made known to you. And then you begin to embrace them, because that is the true nature of you. That is the true nature of you, beloveds. So place your hand on your heart and allow an emanation of gratitude to come through, because that is the force. That gratitude is what pushes us forward and pushes us into a new dimension. The path is a lot easier than we think, beloveds. Spiritual people make a lot of money off of making it very complicated. It's actually very simple. It's just nobody wants the simple way, because it doesn't look as fancy and we can't make as much money off of it. But what we can do is change our world and walk into the new world where we all get to experience abundance and prosperity. So, beloveds, I bid you adieu. And tomorrow we'll talk about divine neutrality. Okay.